Hiya, and welcome back to Tennis Ace. The game that teaches us that... I don't think we're ready for when this game ends. I don't think we'll ever be ready for it. Anyways, let's just hop right in. Crap, it's really uncomfortable in my pants right now. Damn, we're starting off strong. June 26th. We will never be able to witness the not buggy transition. Never. Leaning back on my chair, I let out a sigh, trying my best to stretch in what little space I have without distracting any of the other students around me. Having just finished our class's assignment, I take a quick scan around the room, seeing everyone else still hard at work. Far be it for me to complain, but the teachers really decided to hammer an ungodly amount of assignments when summer break is right around the corner, huh? Not only will we be given a mountain of homework to do during breaks, but even in the weeks leading up to it, we're given a lot more pop quizzes, worksheets, and the likes. I get they don't want us to slack off, especially now that we're seniors, but geez. Give a guy a break, will you? I mean, hopefully. I catch the eye of my teacher, but merely nod at him and give him a thumbs up. At this point, the faculty knows me well enough to know that I finish this kind of thing kind of fast. So they give me more leeway. Or, well, most do. Shima-sensei and Katsuragi-sensei both loved to give me extra work to do when I finished my work. Something, that's how the real world will treat you if you're an overachiever. Really killed the desire to overachieve fast. Part of me wants to pull out my phone to distract myself, but that would be a tad too far. They give me some leeway since I'm done with my work, but that would get me in trouble fast. Besides, other than aimlessly scrolling, there isn't much I could do. I couldn't pop earbuds in to watch videos anyway, and it's not like there's anyone I could text. Most of my friends are also students and will be paying attention to class right now. This is so dull. Miss the time when I used to skip class and not give a crap. What did that stupid handsome hair do to me? I should really work on my tendency to bitch about everything, shouldn't I? Keisuke's never outright complained about it, but I'm sure he'd appreciate it. I do wonder how he's doing, though. We've barely gotten to talk lately. He's been too busy to show up for lunch and brushes off all attempts to hang out together. Hell, even when we text, he's always sending these long, well-thought-out messages to barely giving me a full sentence. He says he's swamped and not to worry, but, like, I'm allowed to worry, right? Isn't that what a boyfriend is for? I've still been trying to give him space to figure things out, but there's gotta be a balance, surely. Maybe I could go check up on him, even if he says he's fine. It's not like he outright told me not to, though I guess it has been a bit little implied. I could use a lunch break for that, sure. The others know Keisuke and I are dating now, so they wouldn't get mad at me for skipping on them. Besides, I wouldn't spend all of lunch break with him. I'm sure he's probably working on whatever it is that's holding him up during lunch break, so I'd just go see how he's doing. Perfectly reasonable, right? Am I really having an argument with myself here? It's exhausting to be in my mind sometimes. Michimiya! I mean, yes. Teacher's booming voice suddenly calling out to me snaps me out of my daze, however, and brings me back to reality. At once I stand up stiff, wondering how I could be called out for out of nowhere. There's a few snickers at my panicked reaction, but most of everyone here doesn't pay me much mind other than a couple curious glances my way. Actually, is everyone else done? I barely see anyone writing anymore. We're going to start reviewing answers. Since you finished first, can you walk us through the first question? Oh, sure. Lord, how long was I spacing out for? Seriously, I need to get it together. Several hours later. Once the bell rings announcing the start of lunch break, our teacher quickly collects her things, saying a quick farewell and walking out of the room. I slump back on my chair, letting out a sigh of relief. God, this morning was dire. I know getting distracted is nothing unusual for me, but it's never been this bad before. Is everything okay? You've been sighing a lot today. Yeah, I'm fine, just thinking about some stuff. Is this about Keisuke-san? Yeah, how'd you know? Wasn't too hard to guess. Keisuke-san hasn't been around for a bit and you've been down since. Yikes, I didn't think I was that transparent. Don't feel bad, I'm good at noticing. Not necessarily everyone would. I guess. Is everything good with you two? Yeah, it's not about that I'm worried about. You can talk to me if you want, you know. I don't bite and I've been told I'm a good listener. I guess it's not the worst idea. It would feel nice to get a sanity check. Besides, Shoichi's been weirdly distant lately, and Saichan's also been busy, so I haven't had anyone to talk to about this. Usually I'd worry about what's going on with those two, but I kind of have a lot on my plate at the moment as is. It's a bit awkward to talk about this kind of thing with my friends. That's the issue then. Think about how much weirder it would be talking to the two friends you grew up with. At least we only met this year, so it's not going to be as awkward, right? Besides, those two have been otherwise preoccupied lately, haven't they? Oh, wait, that's a great point, actually. I would much rather talk to you about it. Told you, I'm good at noticing things. You sure are. So, what's going on? You should probably talk fast before Mizuguchi-san and Shoichi-san come over. Place a hand on my head, awkwardly scratching at the back of it while trying to figure out the best way to phrase things. I guess I'm just worried. Keikun's been juggling a lot of stuff in his personal life lately. And that's just the things he tells me about. I'm sure there's more to it that I'm not really privy to. He did tell me a couple times that the reason he's been distant is because he's very busy and all, and that just makes me worry about him more. I don't want to be needy or a bother, but it's hard to keep my distance when I'm worried, you know? So, you want to know the right amount of distance would be in that case. Exactly. I know you're worried about adding more to his problems, but couldn't you just ask him? Keisuke-san is a reasonable sort. I'm sure he'd appreciate the concern. If you're being too much, I can't see him not saying so. Tell him you've been worried, check in on him, and ask if it's okay for you to do so. Shouldn't that be enough? Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I was wondering if I was valid for worrying like this. I might not be Keisuke-san, but I'd much rather my boyfriend worry about me than not. Yeah, you're probably right. At the very least, talking is better than not talking. You can't really get anything done if you're always trying to guess what the other is feeling instead of asking. Who knows? Maybe he'd like a little pick-me-up. Buy him a coffee or something. Does he even like those? Yeah, you're probably right. I've been overthinking it a lot, haven't I? Well, I wouldn't say as much, but... Yeah, got it. It's implied. Still, thanks. I feel a little better. No problem. I'm always free to talk. Oh, hear the door opening, followed by a fairly listless Os, lacking all the usual energy or door slamming of Saichan's usual entrances. And following behind her is Shoichi, looking as if his mind is a million miles away. Yep, that's about how things have been the last few days. Morning, you two. Yeah. Morning. Is it any wonder that I've been so stressed out lately? What is with this depressing atmosphere? I mean, I get why I'm in low spirits, but seriously, what's with you two? I get being busy and overworked, but summer break is right around the corner. Shouldn't you guys at least be a little excited? Everything okay? Yeah, just a lot of stuff going on right now. Same here. That is the most transparently flimsy excuse I think I've ever heard, and that's coming from me. Whatever. I don't really have the mental capacity to deal with that right now. Figuring that I ought to do it before I lose the nerve to, I quickly stand up, noisily pushing my chair back in the process. Can you guys excuse me for a bit? Huh? Yeah, sure. Do you need to go to the bathroom or something? No, I'm going to check in on Keisuke, actually. He's been swamped lately, and we haven't been able to talk much, so I'm a little worried about him. Oh, yeah, that's totally fair. Look at you, being a good boyfriend and all. Yeah. Lucky Urushihara. Yeah. I don't have it in me to unpack whatever this is. If I weren't worried out of my mind right now, I 100% would, but I can only deal with one crisis at a time. If this is even a crisis. I'll be back in a bit. I shouldn't be gone long. Don't want to be a bother on him or anything. Good on you, man. Guess you finally shaped up to be into a decent boyfriend, huh? I don't know if I'd call myself that, but I'm trying. Still haven't forgiven myself for some of the shit I've pulled since Keisuke and I started dating, but I'm going to do my best to make up for it at least. Maybe I should buy some juice before I show up out of the blue as a gesture of goodwill and all. Later. Go get him, Tiger. I'm a dog, actually. I know, I didn't. Just go. Okay. Come on, Yuichi, you can do this. I'm not going to be a bother or anything. Just buy him some juice, drop in, check how he's doing, let him know I'm thinking about it, and leave. Juice in, check, think, leave. Juice in, check, think, leave. Juice in, wait. When do I give him the juice? I'm not going to keep holding it the whole time, am I? What does it matter? It's a tiny detail. I can give it whenever. Just stick to the plan, you idiot. Besides, I already wasted enough time by the vending machine trying to figure out what to buy. And I got him some rose petal water thing that I don't think I can even rightly call juice, but it seemed like the kind of thing you'd like. Either that or milk tea, but I don't know enough about tea to know if he'd like those. Worst possible result, I could imagine him as hitting me with the, "What is this commoner swell?" or something equally as bad. I'd rather not risk it. I know where Keisuke sits, so it shouldn't take long to aha! Okay, good, he really is in his classroom. Part of me was a little worried that he'd gone to the library or some other place to get enough quiet to work. If I had to track him down, and even our near-hour-long lunch break wouldn't have been enough. Hey, stranger.
What? Yuichi?
Who else would it be? Some other devilishly handsome Shiba Inu, you know?
Devilishly handsome, huh? Can't say I disagree, but it's weird to hear you saying it.
Is it okay if I grab a chair real quick?
I don't particularly mind, but...
Don't worry, I won't be long. I know you're busy.
Oh, is that so? That's good.
I ignore the curious glances my way, choosing to just grab a nearby empty chair and pull it up to Keisuke's desk as if it were the most normal thing in the world. I haven't seen you anyway, so good luck to anyone who takes an issue with me being here.
What are you doing here?
I wanted to check up on you. You've been burning the candle at both ends lately, and we've barely gotten a chance to talk, so I'm worried a bit. Oh, right, here.
Is that sparkling water?
Yeah, rose petal flavored. I couldn't think of anything else you'd like.
I see.
I don't want to stay too long because I know you have a lot to do, but are you okay? Take a quick peek at his desk, seeing a complicated-looking book that most certainly isn't schoolwork-related. And he's been writing something. Are these reports? There's a lot of numbers and stats that I don't recognize. Is that even Japanese?
I can't say I'm fine, but things should get better soon. I'm getting ready for battle, you could say.
Is that why you have 2 empty energy drinks bottles on your desk? Lipovitan? Aren't those the super concentrated ones that come in the small bottles? Fucking 5-hour energy! I remember drinking one a few years ago after a match. Made me feel like I could cage fight a bull.
Oh dear, don't look too hard at those.
The hare grabs the empty bottles and stuffs them in his bag, as if that could magically make me unsee it. You're really not thinking straight right now, are you?
They're, I guess they're energy drinks too, but they also have a lot of vitamins and minerals, so in a way they're more like supplements.
If you wanted a supplement drink, you could have gotten the ones that don't have caffeine. How much is even in one of those small bottles?
Don't want to say.
Figured. Look, I'm sure you know yourself better and all, but do try to be careful, okay? I worry.
I know, I appreciate it. Sorry I've been so quiet lately.
It's to be expected. You had a lot dumped on you all of a sudden. That board thingamajig should be happening soon, right?
Yeah, early August.
Then there's nothing you can do. I get you have to work hard even if you don't really want to. Just don't be a stranger, okay? I don't mind helping if there's anything I can do.
I appreciate it, truly.
Well, I should get going now, then.
Already?
I did say I wasn't coming here to be a bother. Clearly in the middle of something. I just wanted to see how you're doing and, I don't know, cheer you up a bit.
Consider me cheered up.
Good. I'm glad. Catch you later, okay?
Yeah, later.
Fighting the urge to stick around and talk to him more is agonizing, but I've somehow managed to do it. Just because I know I should go and give him space doesn't make any of this easy for me. This is what a good boyfriend would do, right? I wish relationships would come with a manual so I can know if I'm doing the right thing. I quietly watch the figure disappearing into the doorway, making sure he's fully out of sight, not sticking around to peek through the door or some other shenanigan before finally letting myself lean back in my chair. Why is my heart racing so much? Why did you have to show up now of all times? I was fine putting up with this since I'm used to it, but seeing you made me let my guard down. Now all that stress and fatigue I've been keeping at bay hit me all at once. My head hurts so bad. Perhaps the stupid white fur isn't the worst thing after all. Can't really tell when my complexion has worsened if I'm always white and pale. Though I should thank my lucky stars, I decided to put some concealer on today. The bags under my eyes only stand out more with my white fur otherwise. I rub my right temple, quietly exhaling in an attempt to both gather my thoughts and soothe the dull ache that's refused to go away since this morning. Sorry, Yuichi. If you really knew how I was doing, I doubt you'd be able to leave quite that easily. The last thing either of us needs is you fussing over me. You not being able to do anything to help would only make you feel worse, I'm sure.
Where was I?
Thank God I'm almost done for today. I had so much I needed to study. I worried I'd have to skip class and go take notes in the library, but I've seemed to have caught up after all. Not going on like this until the meeting makes me feel ill, but it is better than the alternative. It's either this or giving up even more of my own autonomy. Had enough of spies in my midst, so I'd take the bitterer pill. Besides, this is ultimately a consequence of my own decisions. So I have no right to worry Yuichi over it. The week before. Keisuke, how fare your preparations for the induction meeting?
It's going fine. Alex is helping me parse the files you sent.
Alexander, huh? Father scratched his chin pensively, though he didn't really bother to look my way while we spoke. Not that I wasn't used to it, but it still felt frustrating to be the one called over for these talks and yet barely be looked at or acknowledged. Yes, Call me childish or immature or what have you, but the least you could do is look my way, no? I know you're busy, you are literally working right in front of my eyes, and yet... Why does it still bother me so much? That won't do. I shall assign someone else to you. Continue.
Pardon?
Alexander is a competent bodyguard, but he can't handle that kind of work. I've been told you still keep Kuroda at a distance despite having him back as your head butler, and Alexander has never handled this kind of paperwork in his life. You shouldn't so much of him.
It will do, Father. I'd much rather keep my retinue small, as you are well aware.
He sighs. When his eyes finally land on me, he wears the same frown I've grown so accustomed to seeing. When he speaks again, he has that condescending voice that I hate, dripping with fake concern and mockery, talking to me as one would an unruly child. I do understand, Keisuke, but you need to think of your position more. You have a bodyguard you won't allow to accompany you, a head butler you won't allow to serve you, and one maid nearing retirement age. I've been told by your tutors that you've been struggling to focus lately.
I will do better.
No, the time for promises is long since past. You want to avoid further scrutiny from your grandmother, then you'll have to take someone else into your service. I'll assign Emilian to be your assistant, and that is the last we will speak of this.
What, Emilian, your assistant?
Emilian served me well since I first took over the company. He's good with paperwork and has an eye for detail, and most importantly, he's seen me through those rocky first years when I had no idea what I was doing. There's no one better for the job.
You must be joking, Father. What will you do without him?
You may want me to simply bow my head and accept your grace, but there's no way I can do that. Emilian? Are you kidding me? As if I can believe you're giving him to me out of the kindness of your heart. I don't have the luxury of believing that kind of fairy tale anymore. I'm walking a tightrope as it is. Still, Father merely dismisses my concern with a wave of his hand, quickly going back to scanning the documents in front of him. I will be fine. I'm more than familiar with the workload at this point, and Emilian has already trained a replacement. I'm not sure if I made this decision on a whim.
I see, so that was always the idea. Touch me drown for him a little bit before throwing me a life jacket. Force me to depend on Emilian for my survival. All the better for him to spy on me now.
Keisuke, I really wish you would not talk like that. You know I would never...
I don't know that. Clearly, I do not know that. When have you ever given me a reason to?
Watch with a tinge of satisfaction the way that Father flinches at my words. That isn't the extent of what I can do, then so be it. May not have the influence to push back directly, but there's nothing you can do if I don't let your precious assistant work for me, right? What is he going to do? Grab the documents from my hands and I'll simply hide them. You know I'm very good at that. I can play these kinds of games all day. Keisuke, you are only going to make life harder for yourself that way. Let Emilian help. You're getting precious little rest as it is, aren't you? Ah, crap, so he noticed that, huh? Who was it? Who told him about it? Was it Kuroda? I thought at the very least that rat would have the decency to keep his reports about me for grandmother's ears only. Perhaps I haven't been hiding my exhaustion as well as I thought I have. Is it my eyes? Maybe I should look into wearing some makeup to hide it. That much to consider. Well,
yeah, well, whose fault do you think that is?
Father's eyebrows knit together in a look of frustration, and at that he makes the show of looking away from me. Let me guess. Can't bear the sight of me? Wouldn't be news. It's not like you've ever properly looked at me before anyway. Even when you do, you don't. I may lack money, power, or influence, but what I do have a veritable trove of is spite. You'd be surprised how many ways I can think of to make things harder for you. Keisuke, I'm only trying to help you. Please.
May be excused as if reported work goes smoothly. I should be able to review the documents you've provided and get a working understanding of the business in time for the board meetings. I will not do anything to besmirch the Uruchihara position, so you need not worry about that. So as long as that is the case, you have left no complaints, yes?
Very well.
Thank you. I wish you good night, Father. May you find restful sleep.
Yes, you as well. We both know I won't. Ugh. Remembering that really makes my headache feel worse. Looking at the workload I have lately is almost enough to make me hesitate and accept Father's offer, but I ultimately know better. You don't get something for nothing. Not in that household. Any help would come with too many strings attached. I just have to knuckle under and work on this until I drop. It's a good thing I don't need very much sleep. I'd have long since crumbled otherwise. But even for my unique constitution, I have to admit that I'm stretched to my limits.
What a pain. Huh? What? Why now?
I'm busy! Why does it have to be today of all days? Fine, I'll go. I already have a good idea of what this might be about anyway. A few minutes later, walking into this by now familiar room, the all too nostalgic musty scent of the soundproofing foam around the walls intermixed with dust and lack of fresh air wafts through my nose. I think I used to find it unpleasant, yet now it's almost relaxing. Merely spot Ichigo and Kagaho-san standing together by the door to the monitoring room. Usually whenever I see them, they're engaged in lively conversation, but this time instead, Ichigo-san is leaning against the wall with her head hung low, with her left hand cupping and rubbing her right elbow. Kagaho-san, for his part, stands about shoulder length from her, though he also seems unusually tense even for him. I knew it. This is bad news, huh?
You called?
Ah, Kei-chan. You got here fast.
I wasn't eating, so it didn't take much to shove my books back in my bag and come over. So busy you can't even eat? Something like that.
So I could be able to keep it down if I ate it right now anyway. Perhaps I could, but I don't have enough energy in my body to stay awake after eating. Cannot afford to enter into a food coma at this juncture. I did have a couple protein bars at least, so it's not as if I'm running on no fuel.
So want me extended ab?
I'm interrupted as a nearby door flings open and off its hinges. Though the damage is minimized thanks to it being cushioned by the soft foam on the wall. I'm here, Ichigo-san! Kurusu. Too loud. The sudden intruders are none other than Shoko-san and Kurusu-san-kun. My eyes widen, having not expected their presence here as well. Wait, I thought I was about to be kicked out of the band, sure, but don't tell me Ichigo-san asked everyone to be here to witness it. That would be far too cruel. Settle down, Kurusu-kun. You could have damaged something like that. But your text said it was urgent! Yeah, but that doesn't mean you need to panic. Though she's trying to calm down the panicked Kurusu, Ichigo-san's attitude feels off. That's not how she usually talks, for one, but she's also far too demure. She's usually far more energetic in her own way. Though, unlike Kurusu, she still has this magnetic quality that draws all eyes to her. That's why I felt compelled to join the band in the first place. Ichigo-san is a born performer, and after I heard her sing, I desperately wanted to be part of it. Maybe it's foolish or simple wishful thinking, but I hoped that some of that might rub off on me. Ichigo, all good? You seem weird. Yeah, I'm okay. Let's just wait for Miyu-chan, okay? Miyu should be here soon. Ichigo-san nods and goes back to leaning on the wall, avoiding eye contact with all of us. The same as she was when I first walked in. Hey, Kagaho-san, what is this all about? This is making me nervous. Let's just wait until Miyu arrives. Then Ichigo will let you know. Look on Kagaho-san's face is enough to tell me what I need to know. He knows what this is about, doesn't he? Is this not about me after all? I'm here! Damn! Am I the last one here? Freshmen do have to walk further. I guess that's true. What's up? The text said it was urgent. Again with the urgent thing. I thought I was the only one being called here.
Ichigo-san, what's this about?
In contrast to her usual confident and composed attitude, the Ichigo-san in front of my eyes right now seemed far too distant and fragile. Her slender fingers tighten around her elbow, quivering the whole time. After an extended period of silence, she takes a deep breath, raising her head to face us directly. I'm moving away. The initial reveal is met with silence, Ichigo-san's words hanging heavily in the air all around us. If for me it comes as a shock, I can only imagine how it is for the others.
Huh?
I'm the first to speak up, and even then all I can manage is an undignified noise as my brain races to form any semblance of rational thought, almost as if time had begun moving again. The others react as well, chiming in with their own confusion. Moving? You mean to a different house? But she said she's moving away. No way! You can't, Ichigo-san!
Did you know about this, Kagaho-san?
The Raven shifts uncomfortably at my question, especially when all eyes fall on him, clearly not expecting to be called on this. I did. What? You did? How did you? Guys, don't grill Kagaho-kun. He was keeping my secret for this. Keeping a secret? How long have you known about this? Since a little bit after the school festival. Huh? Ichigo-san, why didn't you tell us? Ichigo-san hugs her arms close to her body, once again averting her gaze, her eyebrows knitted close together and her lips trembling. I wanted my last few months with everyone to be fun, you know? I told everyone there would be this awkward mood around us the entire time. I wanted to enjoy playing and singing with everyone as much as I could. The calico sighs, her head hanging even lower than it had before. Her already delicate frame seems to grow smaller and smaller before my very eyes. I'm sorry, I wanted to be a little selfish. Hoped I could push it back until the band competition so I could perform with all of you one last time, but... Shit! That's right, the band competition! Seriously, the competition? That's what you're thinking about right now? But if Ichigo-san is leaving, then how are we supposed to participate? What are we going to do? Disband. Shoko-san's words give us all a pause, creating this atmosphere of low level that suffocates any desire to talk further. Disbanding. I haven't even been in the band that long, and yet the thought of it makes me feel anxious. Like I'm losing yet another place that I could fit into. What am I doing making this all about myself? Wish I could say something to cheer everyone up. Doesn't have to be clever, even all that coherent. Literally anything would do. What would Yuichi say? He's usually the one that finds a way to cheer me up when I'm down on myself. You guys don't have to disband just because I'm gone. Ichigo-san, I know I'm usually a cheerful one, but really, who else could we have as our vocalist? Yeah, that's right. There's no way you could find a vocalist that could replace you. Well, on that topic, Ichigo and Kagaho-san both share a look, and I see a quick flash between the two of them at that moment. Mutual understanding. Truth is, we thought of someone already. Really? Who? It's only where I realize the direction this is going that I curse myself for having not ignored that damn text. If only I'd left my phone on mute. Fuck, man. Maybe I overdid it today. Trying to take my problems out in the court as murder on my body. If I'm this sore already today, I can only imagine how bad it'll be tomorrow. But I can't help it. I show up to practice frustrated, then see that Keisuke didn't show up again, and that makes me more frustrated. It's a vicious cycle. Granted, I've also kind of thrown myself into this mentoring thing a little bit, so I do still enjoy myself during practice. Probably more than I have in years, if I'm being honest. But still, way overdoing it. I've also started showering here more often. Who knew that understanding why I was so skittish and getting changed and showering in public would help me feel more comfortable when I do? And I do know better than to stare. It would be pretty disrespectful too. I mean, it's still not my absolute most favorite thing, but it doesn't bother me as much anymore. We call that progress. Keisuke? You're still here? Wait, why is he standing awkwardly by the entrance like that? If you were free enough to stand around, you should have showed up for practice. No, wait, given the state he was in this morning, it's better that he didn't. He definitely hurt himself if he tried practicing like that. Hey there, are you? Okay.
There you are.
Were you waiting for me?
Yeah.
Did something happen?
You could say that, yeah. I got a message from Ichigo-san asking me to show up to the band room since she had something important to talk about. I knew I was the only one not showing up, but I let them know I'd be too busy for a while and wouldn't be able to show my face for a while. Part of me wondered if that was going to be about them asking me to quit or something, but Ichigo-san is quitting the band.
Oh, that's sudden! What brought this on?
It seems her father got a job in Aomori with a significant pay raise, so her whole family is relocating there.
Oh man, and she only found out now?
No, seems she's known for a while. That's not really the concerning part, though.
It's not?
They want me to take over for her.
Huh.
It seems Ichigo-san's been wanting me to take her place from the start. That's why she's been asking me to swap places with her during rehearsal when she's too tired, or encouraging me to record more vocal demos for her songs, saying she's having trouble getting the melody down. How stupid could I be that I didn't see this coming?
And everyone else is on board with this?
Kago-san was. Him and Ichigo-san have been discussing it for a while since he's the only person that knew of her move. The others weren't convinced at first, but the girls all flipped once she explained her logic. The only one who's not on board with this is Kurusu, and even then, his only reasoning is no one but Ichigo-san will do.
I can see that, yeah. Might not know them very well, but that guy did strike me as being very easy to read. At the very least, his crush on Minazuki was pretty obvious to me. I'm sorry, can imagine this wasn't the easiest day to get this kind of news.
Yeah, I'm juggling way too much right now to even consider it, even if.
Uh-oh. I know the look and that way he hesitates quite well by now. Something he's trying to tamp down on. Come on, out with it. We both know nothing good comes from trying to bottle stuff up.
Is it crazy that I kind of want to?
You do?
Yeah, you don't have to sound so surprised.
Really? Whenever we talked about this, you were always adamant about not doing music.
I suppose, truthfully, even if I quite enjoy music, I was attempting to throw all my focus on tennis since I considered it my only lifeline and all. I'm under no such illusions anymore. I know betting my all on it is just fruitless endeavor. I am keeping it up because I do still enjoy tennis at a basic level, but I do like music quite a bit more.
In that case, maybe you should throw all of your effort on that?
No, wait.
Why not?
Because
you can keep hesitating as much as you want. Coaxing the words out of you isn't all that hard. In fact, all I need is a probing look to get you talking in.
I like music a lot more. A lot more.
Yeah, other people might consider that a good thing, you know.
That's not the point. What if I'm no good at it?
Huh?
Ichigo-san had a kind of charisma I simply can't match. If I take her place and turn out to not be a match, failing at something that I actually care a lot about, it'll be a much greater blow to my ego. Failing at something that you only find passively enjoying is already quite frustrating to me. The idea of failing at something I really like and care about is scary.
Oh. Okay, this I guess I can help with. This is familiar to me.
What's so funny?
Sorry, I'm not trying to laugh at you or anything. It's just, you do know that's how most of us feel, right?
Pardon.
Long ago you told me all serious like that you didn't feel the same way that me, Saya, Shoichi, or other people who are passionate about what they do feel. That you had no idea what it was even like. This is exactly what it's like.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, the fear of screwing up is a lot worse when it's something you are really passionate about. Trust me, I know. I've been screwing up at what I'm passionate about for years. I get it.
How do you get over it?
I think that part is different for everyone.
How's it for you, then?
That's easy.
Yeah.
The thrill of it.
The thrill?
Whether I can really make it or not, whether I'll screw up at some point, none of that matters to me when I really get in the groove. The thrill of beating the person in front of me is everything to me. Of course, I also find joy in noticing improvement, beating my own records and whatnot. If I'm being totally honest, then yeah, the joy of winning is so sweet that it gets me through the pain of failing and losing. I forgot something super basic to me for a long while, but I'm getting more in touch with that feeling again. To me, the thought that I absolutely don't want to lose drives me to keep going, and that when I eventually win, it's all worth it.
I suppose that explains it.
Explains what?
Sometimes when you played, the look on your face would totally change.
Wasn't every time we played it.
It wasn't every time we played. It was never as drastic as when we played in the regional tournament. It was like you turned into a totally different person.
Ah, I guess that's how it seemed to him, huh? That's what I'm like when I really get in the groove, when nothing other than beating someone else matters anymore.
That's you at your best, huh?
Yep.
I wonder.
Wonder what?
Could he be capable of being that serious about something as well?
I don't see why not. You just need to find what you're passionate about. Who knows, maybe music is it.
I should get going.
Huh?
I have a lot to consider. I can't make a decision on this kind of thing without careful consideration.
Isn't that why we should talk about this some more? You know, big decision and all?
If it were any other time, then maybe, but I am not in my right mind to ponder on something like this at the moment. I have just about enough energy to stay functional, but I can't let myself contemplate something like this when I'm this tired. Besides, I have work I need to do still. I shouldn't divert what energy I still have to something inconsequential until I've managed to finish that.
Dude, you need to actually get some rest. You're going to work yourself to death like this.
Maybe, but not now. Still, thank you. I really appreciate it, Yuichi. Talking to you always puts my mind at ease.
Sure. Are you going to be okay, though?
Of course, I'll be just fine. Don't worry.
Somehow, I struggle to believe it.
Now, I've left my driver waiting long enough because I wanted to talk to you before heading home. I shall see you later.
Okay, I love you, you know.
I do. And I love you as well.
Once again, after only a very short interaction, this time I'm the one watching Keisuke walk away from me. It's a given considering where we are, but I don't get a kiss goodbye either. Know that I should do my best to be supportive. I really do know that. Something about this doesn't sit well with me. Maybe it's time for me to bring out my secret plan. It's earlier than I intended, but I'm in not exactly under the circumstances I was hoping for, but it'll have to do. Okay. Sometime later. After a brief stop at a handful of markets, I'm confident I have everything I could need. Or at least all the ones I could find. This will be a lot of work. Hopefully it works out. After taking off my shoes and walking inside, I spot the lights all turned on despite there not being anyone around. Aki and I left together, so we can't have forgotten them on. Did I forget to check? I know I've been distracted, but has it gotten this bad already? Welcome home, Aniki.
Huh? Aki?
Still, Aki's seemingly disembodied voice causes me to stop on my tracks. So only when I look past the couch that obstructed my vision from the entrance that I see my little brother sitting on the floor and writing something on a notebook. I thought there was no one home. Are you doing homework? Yep, only a few days before summer break starts, so I don't want to let stuff pile up before then. You do know they're going to assign you a mountain of homework to do during vacation anyway, right? I know, but I feel less stressed about it if I get a head start. Then the pile doesn't feel as big when vacation starts. Fair enough. To each their own. What about you? You've been getting home a bit later than usual lately. I've been enjoying myself a lot more during practice lately. Plus, a lot of the juniors have started coming to me for advice, and it's kind of fun to help them out. No kidding? Did you eat something weird lately? Haha, yeah, I know. It's so not like me, huh? Yeah, it's nice. Maybe I should come to you for advice more often, too. Hey, when have I refused you help? Doesn't hurt to have good timing. You don't need good timing. I always end up helping you anyway. You have me wrapped around your little finger and you know it. By the way, Aniki, what's with all those bags? These? They're ingredients. Ingredients? All of that? How many people are you cooking for? Well, it's mostly for Keisuke, but we're gonna have a lot of it, too. That creates more questions than it answers. Get used to eating curry for a good long while, okay? Huh? White curry? Don't worry about it. Okay? Of course I'm not crazy enough to make full batches of all of them. That would be insane. Since most box curries use about the same ingredients, just in different proportions, I'm gonna batch prep a bunch of meat and veggies and use one block of each. I even bought a few lunch boxes with lots of small compartments for more than usual, so so I can have all the different brands separated. I just gotta figure out how I'm gonna label what each one is. Maybe put stickers on the outside of the lid where each compartment will go. That's an idea. By the way, you just watch me, Keisuke. I'm gonna figure out which of these is the curry your mom used to make. July 30th. My fingers thumbed through a few boxes on the shelf, quickly flipping them front and back, paying attention to every small detail, in the hopes that anything will jump out to me. Sadly, this isn't born out of some secret knowledge or epiphany of mine. In fact, it's the opposite. I'm stumped beyond belief. I brought Keisuke's lunchboxes with several different curries on Thursday and Friday, yet none of them were winners. Sure, he was surprised, and sure, he was super happy, blah blah blah. Point is, none of them were it. Maybe I'm putting too much stock on it. I thought it would be much easier to figure out which one was the type his mom used to make, and now I'm frustrated that I haven't yet. I don't really care. I literally tried every major brand I could find in 3 different markets, so I was confident I would get something. I mean, come on, it's boxed curry! I tried badgering him to remember anything that might help me, but the most he could come up with is, after a lot of things, is that his mom's tasted sweeter. The hell am I supposed to do with that? I've literally bought him brands that include chocolate, honey, and apples. How much sweeter is it supposed to get? Is this dessert curry? I hope to God not. I wonder if there's some obscure brand I don't know about there. Another possibility is that she used a brand that has since reformulated, or worse, has been taken off the market. What do I do in that case? I can't go back in time and buy a product that no longer exists. I really want to figure it out for him. That's why I still came out here today and have been staring at the wall of different boxes of curry, hoping that some kind of divine guidance will strike me or something. But if it turns out Keisuke's mom was the type to tweak and customize her curry roux, then I'd be screwed. Trying to figure out what modifications someone's made when the only taster I can use is barely able to describe the flavor from his memories would be impossible. Fuck, I came here hoping for some kind of miracle, but instead I'm losing hope with every passing second. Excuse me. Snapped out of my hopeless endeavor by a nearby voice calling out to me. Turned around a bit too fast, partially spooked by the sudden intrusion in my personal space, making the woman behind me flinch. Anyway, she's not that close to me. For a second I felt like she was hovering right next to me. Man, I really need to chill. Hey there, sorry, did you need something? The woman, a petite rodent of some kind with two-toned cream and caramel-colored fur, mostly covered with a loose purple blouse, and a long skirt that flows almost all the way to the floor, stares at me with surprised, albeit quizzical eyes. Her face looks kind of familiar in a way, I can't quite place it. Top of her head and part of her forehead are covered in some kind of shawl. I can't really see her ears, but I don't think she might be a rabbit of some kind. Her face kind of gives me that familiar vibe, even if I can't figure out why. That is Keisuke's mother. I'm calling it now. That is Keisuke's mother. I had a feeling, and I swear to God if my feeling is correct. Maybe she's a Pika instead. They're in the same family, right? Oh no, nothing like that. I'm sorry to have startled you. No, this is quite unusual to randomly strike a conversation in the market, but I was a little curious. Curious? Yes, I've circled around a few times, and every time I walk past, I've noticed you standing there with the tense look on your face. It seemed like you're really focused on something. My curiosity got the better of me, and I couldn't resist asking. Oh, sorry, you don't work here, do you? Have I been walking the hall or something? I'll move. She covers her mouth with her fingers, giggling at my sudden discomfort. At a first glance, her hands look to be delicate, but I quickly notice calluses and what looks to be a few areas where the fur is uneven, as if it had grown over cuts or bruises or the likes. Given the way she's dressed, I haven't thought of it at first, but maybe she works with her hands a lot? No, not at all. Like I said, I got curious. I'm sorry. Must be quite strange for a young boy like yourself to be randomly approached by an old woman like this. No, it's okay. I totally zoned out. I'm glad someone brought me back to Earth. Besides, you don't look that old, ma'am. Aren't you kind? Still, is it okay for me to ask? I know it's quite nosy of me, but I can't help it. I mean, it's a strange request, but I've heard worse. She must be a housewife of some kind. Mom said she used to be really bored at home sometimes before she went back to work. Maybe a mom looking for something interesting to distract her from her usual routine. I don't see any reason not to. She seems nice. To be honest, I've been trying to figure something out for a while, but I've been stumped. I was staring at the different brands of curry trying to think of something, but no dice. Really? What's that? Well, it's kind of embarrassing, but I'm trying to figure out what kind of curry my friend's mom used to cook for him when he was a kid. He hasn't lived with her in years, so he barely remembers it. He's been having a real hard time lately, with family stuff and work stuff and all that, but I was trying to help him out in any way I can. He loves curry, and when we talked about me teaching him how to cook, he got really happy with the idea. He hasn't had any free time lately, and he's barely getting any sleep. I've been pretty worried about him. Hence trying to figure out what his mom used to make him. I thought that might cheer him up. Oh, that's such a kind gesture! You really are a nice boy, aren't you? Maybe, I sure hope so. You must be, after all, not many boys your age would go out of their way to do something so nice for just any friend. Just any? Oops, did I make it too obvious? She hasn't winced or recoiled or anything. Maybe I haven't. Yeah, he's not just any friend. He's a really good friend. Even though I know I'm barely making sense, not to mention acting suspicious as all hell, the woman regards me the entire time with a warm, kind smile on her face. In fact, her smile even widens the more I stumble trying to come up with an explanation, nodding along to my words. Seeing young men like you being so considerate fills me with hope. Hope my boy has grown up to be this kind of thing to those who are precious to him, too. So I was right. She really is a housewife. At the very least, a mom. Man, I have a good radar for this stuff. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. So you see, I haven't had much luck figuring out which one his mom used to make him. No, not really. Back when my boy was a lot younger, there was this brand that got really popular. She walks up next to me, nearly brushing against me before I move aside. Her eyes scan the shelves for a few moments before she lets out a satisfied hum, crouching to grab a product on the lowest shelf. This one. She hands me a box with quite colorful packaging. It's one of the cheapest brands they stock, if not the actual cheapest. There aren't that many pictures on the product, and there are quite a lot of balloons with big bold letters talking about the superior taste and the likes. Kind of marketing red flags usually spot on cheap stuff trying to pass itself as being better quality than it really is. Problem is, though, I actually tried this one already as a kind of Hail Mary. It wasn't the one either. Surprisingly, it was one of Keisuke's favorites, despite me thinking the flavors profile was all kinds of unbalanced, but still not it. Oh yes, I didn't think it would be. Well then, why did you... See, this one got really popular with single moms and families on tighter budgets. Even with box curry, it's quite cheap, even when you account for the box being half the size as most other brands. Still good saving. Come to think of it, he was raised by a single mom for a long time too. Still, what about it? Well, lots of moms used to tweak the recipe on the box to make it better. After all, it was the best they could afford, but the taste still isn't that great. It's not offensive or anything, but it'll pass in a pinch. But it actually has a decent foundation with only a couple additions. Oh, additions, huh? Honestly, that's what I was worried about. Tweaking recipes isn't hard, but that also opens the spectrum of possible customizations a lot. Trying to figure out what exactly Keisuke's mom made would be near impossible. If I were to make a suggestion, add apples and tomato ketchup to it. Huh? It's not unusual for other brands to already have apples and honey added to the mix, but the flavor of processed apples is different. Lose the notes of apple and mostly get the sugar. But add 1 apple per box, puree half the apple and dice the other half to add in with the vegetables, and add the puree in from the start, but the diced apples a few minutes before finishing up. That way they keep their crisp texture. The ketchup adds some sweetness too, but it also helps balance out the acidity of the dish. A couple tablespoons will do. That was the most popular method of sprucing up this recipe among the other moms I knew. We all ended up using the same recipe. Well, wow, that helps a lot. Thanks, ma'am. I mean, it's a long shot, but I'll try anything I can do at this point. It's better than experimenting on my own with no idea of what to do. If you're honest to be right, you have no idea how grateful I'm going to be. I hope it's helpful, dear. Besides, it's always good to pass on some of the wisdom, you know? I'll bet. I guess neighborhood moms get to a lot of talking and socializing to pass time, huh? I certainly used to, though not as much lately. Really? That's a shame. Why is that? Had to move in the last decade or so. Only been living here in Saitama for the past 2 years. Don't know that many people here. Oh, I'm sorry to hear, ma'am. Doesn't help that I don't know the area here too well. Came to a market kind of far from where I live, trying to see if I could find any brands that weren't in the other ones. That's quite alright. Still, I appreciate it. I hope your friend likes the curry. It's tough raising a boy as a single mom. If he's that nostalgic over something his mom used to make, I guess his didn't do all that badly. Doesn't talk about her that much, but it doesn't seem like she did, no? Glad to hear it. Thank you. I was starting to lose hope for a bit, so it's good to have some direction. It was no problem. Thank you as well. Huh? What for? Woman giggles again, waving and turning away from me. I have to get back to my shopping now. Have a good day. Thank you for humoring me. Oh, yeah, sure. Have a good day. As suddenly as she had appeared, the woman walks off, disappearing into one of the several aisles of the market. What an odd person. Still, at the very least, she helped me out. Maybe there's some merit to her idea after all. It makes sense that Keisuke's mom wouldn't have been able to pay for the more expensive brands and stuff, given her situation. Still, how lucky that she was able to guess that Keisuke was raised by a single mom. Maybe it's the same for her, and that's how she figured it out. Mom instincts really are scary. Time to give this cheap curry another chance. Tomorrow's the last day of class, so it'll be my last chance to give Keisuke a lunchbox like this without having to schedule a whole date thing. Don't think he'd have the time for that. It's also my birthday tomorrow, so I have to admit it'll be a little weird being the one showing up with a gift for him. And it's not like I care for my birthday all that much anyway. Making Keisuke smile will be way better. Still, I'll admit that making us show up only for Monday before starting vacation is evil. Could have just started it early on Friday, but no! The schedule says vacation starts on the 1st of August. So by God, it'll be on the 1st of August and no sooner. Man, I hate how obtuse some of these rules and regulations are. Even Aki's school told students they didn't have to show up for tomorrow. Might as well get home and try this out. Can't remember to buy some apples first, too. Let's get a bottle of ketchup since I don't remember if we have any. One downside to our instructions is that there's no way I can make only one of the blocks in the box. I wouldn't know what the right proportion for the tweaks would be. Guess I'll have to make the whole box. Hope Aki isn't sick of curry by now. We've had it every meal since Wednesday. Oh well, a few more days won't hurt. My eyes fly open, startled at the sudden noise. It takes a few more repetitions before I realize the source of the disturbance, realizing that there's someone knocking at my door. I rub my tired eyes, feeling the familiar sting of sleep deprivation and dehydration once again. Not to mention that dull pain on the back of my head again. Did I doze off?
Yes?
It's me. May I come in?
Alex? Yeah, sure.
Shit, how long was I out? That's my phone for a peek at the clock. 2:13 a.m. Thankfully, it doesn't seem I was out that long, maybe 20 minutes or so. Fuck, the light is really hurting my eyes. I try covering my face to shield myself from it, but the headache makes me flinch in the process. I brought you some fresh brewed tea. They say Gyokuro is good to boost concentration and wakefulness.
They make claims like that about most teas anyway. Still, thank you, it's appreciated.
Gyokuro isn't among my favorites, but it would do. Honestly, anything warm for me to sip on right now sounds divine. Are you quite alright? You look terrible, even considering recent circumstances.
I think I've dozed off for a bit, so I feel even worse right now.
Surely if you're so tired falling asleep while working, that is a sign you should actually sleep.
Later, still don't feel like I have a good grasp on this.
You'll dig yourself an early grave if you continue at this pace. Yeah, you're not the first person to tell me that. Still, it's not like I'm trying to dig my heels in or anything. I just know I have no other choice.
Besides, should you really be lecturing me on this? You haven't been sleeping much lately either, have you?
Alex has also been reading up on this stuff and trying to summarize the more complicated reports to help me digest them faster. Not to mention looking after my condition much more closely. Even if I were to call him up in the middle of the night, he'd still be up and about and ready to help me out. I don't think he's gone back to his place in the city once in the last couple weeks. Usually, I would give him a big bonus to thank him for this, but without access to my funds anymore, I can do nothing but feel an overwhelming sense of guilt. Don't flatter yourself, child. I've faced worse working conditions before working here. This is still paradise compared to some of my previous jobs.
Well, the point is taken. Unless my dad is giving you overtime pay, there's no way this could be worth it. Also, seriously, Alex? Child?
Forgive this mere servant for speaking out of turn, young master, but if you insist on acting like one, I will refer you as such. Ugh, there it is again! Your tongue has acquired quite a few new barbs as of late, hasn't it, Alex?
I don't even have the energy to argue.
Flawless victory once more.
It's not a victory when your opponent is too exhausted to even spar you before you start.
Of course it is. There's such a principle as learning to pick your battles. You ought to try it sometime.
Meaning?
That if you're going to push yourself to the point of harming your body, you should really reconsider your father's offer.
What? How could you say that? You know there's no way I can trust anyone to put in my service by father.
Why not? I was put in your service by father. Besides, I know Emilian. He is knowledgeable, professional, and efficient. You could do much worse.
It's not the same, Alex. Sure, father might have hired you, but you've always served me diligently and have my own interests in mind. You're not like...
Kuroda?
Yes.
Though I will admit having had doubts in the past. Maybe I still do. My position doesn't afford me the luxury of blind trust, especially after what happened with Kuroda. I've looked at all those who work directly with me with new suspicion. Even Alex, my closest date, has been kept at a certain distance as of late because of it. I'm sure he noticed it, but he's never said a word about it. Honestly, he's affording me so much more grace than I probably deserve. Were I him, if I were to be treated with so much suspicion while knowing I am innocent, I would feel quite bitter. No, I can't think of this right now. I am wasting too many precious energy on stray thoughts that have no bearing on my current situation. If anything, this just makes my headache worse. While I cannot speak for the others, nor comment on Kuroda's unfortunate decision, I do still think you stand to gain more than you would lose here. Sleep and peace of mind, for one. So you say, but I really would be able to sleep with a constant worry that the new person who now has all my information thanks to his position as my personal assistant cannot screw me over in a myriad ways. Can I really even call that peace of mind?
I'm sorry, Alex, my mind is made. Now, if all you're going to do is argue with me on it, then you're free to leave.
Even I know that I'm out of line right now. I know Alex is coming from a place of concern, but I simply am too tired to try to think of a nicer way to say it. So I snap at him. Even Alex, with his boundless patience, can't help but frown. And yet, all he does is take a deep breath, pushing down his frustration and displeasure at his unruly master. Understood. As I would rather not be kicked out when you are in this state. I'll keep my opinions to myself. Would that suffice, young master?
Yes, I'll be quite alright, Alex.
Ugh, now I'm done. There are two situations under which Alex would call me that when the two of us are alone. Either he's joking around and teasing me, or he's pissed. So, what much is still left for you to do?
Shouldn't be that much. About 20 pages on this report.
These contracts and legal documents are filled with jargon. There's no way you could parse through it in one night, even if it's only 20 pages.
I'll go as far as I can get then.
Surely you could just ask one of the company's lawyers to explain it to you and nod along with their explanation.
Well, part of me not wanting to involve anyone else in this wasn't clear.
Fair enough. Still, if you're saying you need to finish reading and understanding this before you go to bed, then you're not going to bed.
Then I guess I'm not after all. It's a shame, but it is what it is.
You truly are stubborn sometimes.
I'm sure that comes as news to no one.
Indeed.
What about you? Shouldn't you be sleeping right now?
You ask as if the answer weren't obvious. I know, but there's no harm in having hope, right? Just because I'm leading by the worst possible example doesn't mean I want the same for you. Does that make me a hypocrite? Yes, but still, I'd much rather you not push yourself like this.
Humor me.
I've worked on deciphering a few other contracts, including the one you'll have to sign when taking up your position as a member of the board. I wrote down notes and tried my best to make it more digestible.
That can't have been easy.
It wasn't. Father's words quickly come to mind. Right, Alex is no more equipped for this kind of work than I am. He's also pushing himself to help me out as much as possible. Man, I'm the worst employer. Couldn't even blame him if he decided to stop supporting me and flip to father's or grandmother's faction. Once I was done with that, I decided to brew you some tea and check on you. If you're hungry, I can also prepare something.
It's fine, the kitchen isn't operating right now anyway.
I'm aware. That's why I said I'd prepare it.
You know, most of that isn't even in your job description.
I don't mind. I enjoy caring for you. Can't really watch a kid grow up without getting attached. Well, it certainly makes me happy to hear that. I'm not too sure how I'm actually supposed to feel about his attachment to me being used as reason for it. Conflicted, is that the way to put it? Certainly feels accurate at the very least.
Thank you, Alex.
Of course, I'll drop those off while you're in school tomorrow so you can check them out at your leisure. But yes, I am quite free at the moment. Is there any more work I can take off your hands?
It's fine, Alex. You've earned your rest.
I would say that so have you. If anything, given our positions, it makes no sense for me to be resting while you work yourself to the bone. For a second I thought I heard something.
Yeah, well, I don't need anything at the moment. Any other documents that might need to be looked at or applications that need to be submitted or anything of the sorts need to go through the proper channels. Lawyers, notary offices, father. None of which you can bother at 2 in the morning.
That much is true. Why don't let me take the one you're working on then? You can get some rest while I summarize it.
Really, Alex, it's fine. I just... Ow!
Part of my presumption, but you seem to be rubbing your temple quite a lot. Is everything okay?
Yeah, it should be fine. It's just that my headache is back, though it's not just on the front of my head anymore.
It's not?
No, I mean, it's there too, but the back of my head too. It's sort of like a dull pain, but it started throbbing.
Throbbing, And it's both the front and the back of your head? Is the light bothering you as well?
Yeah, a little bit now that you mention it.
This sounds like a migraine. You really have been pushing yourself too far. I'll fetch some medicine, so please try to rest for at least a few minutes.
You know I can't...
I'll be gone for 10 minutes at most. Surely a short nap until I've come back won't hurt. Think of it as recharging so you can more quickly and efficiently finish your duties.
I suppose that makes sense. You're not planning on failing to wake me up and let me sleep through the night, though, are you?
Me? I would not dream of employing such subterfuge.
Uh-huh. Those are totally the eyes of someone innocent. You better wake me up on your back, or you will find much less agreeable to future requests.
Yes, whatever keeps you happy, young master. Ugh. I walked into that one. Still, I have to shrug it off and make sure I block all possible avenues, otherwise I'll fall prey to a trick. Maybe exhausted, but I'm not stupid.
And that also includes intentionally delaying your return to make me sleep longer. I will look at the time when you get back.
Damn. Knew it. I've been around you long enough, Alex. In fact, I've learned most of my tricks from you. There's no way I'd let such a glaringly obvious loophole pass me by.
Still having acquired the medication within 15 minutes, you'll come by and wake me up regardless.
Very well, it seems like I have no choice. That's more like it. I'll be back soon. Do try to get some rest in the meanwhile. Would you like me to bring you a cold compress to soothe your migraine as well? Perhaps some ginger tea?
As long as you're prepared after you've woken me up, sure.
Understood. Right, maybe I was a bit too harsh when shutting him down. I know he's worried, but I just can't afford to think of myself right now. I wish you were here, Yuichi-san. Even just having you sleeping quietly in the room beside me while I worked was so incredibly relaxing. Just you being here could put me at ease. It would be selfish of me to ask him to hang around without interacting with me at all while I work. Can't help it though, the more stressed out I get, the more I want to spend time with you. Running away for a little bit and fooling around certainly would be nice. At least it would be a more productive way of working out my stress. No, let's not waste on time on idle thoughts. Since Alex will be dropping by to wake me up soon, I should nap while I have the chance. I'll just close my eyes a little bit. Hopefully I fall asleep. Yuichi. Ah! That hit yes. Stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.